it being something that the Russian military and both Wagner Group have said they wanted. If it fell to Russia, he'd have some awkward explaining to do to the Ukrainian people, and that 2023 is the year of counteroffensives when they want to evict Russia from the territory they hold. Only a proportion of the modern armoured vehicles that Ukraine has asked for look like they're going to be supplied by the West. Xi and Putin's conversations are going to be private, but it seems to me that the Chinese have a strategic interest in Russia being seen to win in Ukraine, partly because it's going to damage the credibility of the US and its allies. How much China can actually help Russia, not clear to me. And one factor is that if the US, for example, detects any Chinese companies supplying military equipment to Russia, they're likely to rapidly sanction them, something which the Chinese government and those Chinese companies probably can't afford to happen. Well, before the war started, China and Russia said they had a strategic partnership without limits. I mean, actually, there have been limits. There's no evidence that China has actually supplied weapons or ammunition or dedicated military equipment to Russia. But, well, this is the first visit that Putin's made to Russian-occupied territory since the start of the war. And he and his narrative are both very clear that this territory that they've captured is now part of Russia. And they also want to try and present an impression of normality. So quite clearly, if the images are correct, that Putin did fly there by helicopter, did wander around Mariupol and also take himself for a drive, that's a very positive impression for the narrative that the Russian government is trying to portray to the Russian people. Well, politically, it's significant for both sides. Politically, both Putin and the Russian army, and indeed the Wagner Group, have all invested a lot of political capital in the capture of Bakhmut, and therefore Ukraine's been able to exploit that by putting up a stout defence. And Ukraine's claiming that for every Ukrainian serviceman killed, something like 7 Russian troops have been killed. It's also become politically significant for Zelensky because he staked a bit of his political capital on continuing to hold Ukraine. Now, in the higher scheme of things, there may also be a significance that Bakhmut has become a focus for Russian attacks, bleeding the Russians who attack dry and setting them up for counterattack by the Ukrainians when they launch their widely trailed 2023 counteroffensive.